everyone, and welcome back to another professional prep video. In this video, I'm going to discuss the concept of scope as it relates to Java. So scope has to do with what areas of a program a certain variable can reference. So let me talk a little bit about what I mean by that. Say that we have a for loop here. For int a equals 0, a is less than 5, a plus plus, and in our loop body, let's do a equals a plus 2. Add 2 to it each time. So let's see what happens here. Let's try to print a. Outside of our for loop here, and let's see what we get. So we now run into an issue. It says that it cannot find symbol, meaning that it does not recognize the variable a, but it's defined right here, right? Well, no. Actually, this has to do exactly with the scope. The thing is that by declaring this variable a in this for loop, a can only be referenced inside of the for loop. But if when we try to reference it outside of the for loop, like right here, a does not have the scope to access inside of the for loop. Its scope is limited in that sense. And thus, we run into this error. Say that we tried printing a inside of the for loop. Well, when we try doing that, it recognizes a. And now we run into, string, my bad. Now we don't have an issue. Now we can print out a because our code actually recognizes the variable a. However, as I just said, when you move it outside, a is not accessed outside of that for loop, and thus the code does not recognize it. And that's called scope. The scope is limited in that case. And let me quickly tie this into what this means for us. This means that, let's say we're outside of this for loop now, we do all this a stuff. Actually, I'm going to print a inside. Yep. Now that we're outside of here, we can actually declare another variable a. We can try printing out that a. And now we get 257. 2 and 5 from here, this print, and 7 from here. So we can actually redeclare that variable like that. And that'll work. So that's something interesting. You can use that same variable. You do need to declare it again, though, using that int and initialize it. But let me try something else. Let's try doing, I'm going to comment out this entire code segment. I don't want to use it here, using that multi-line comment. Now let's only take a look at this portion of our code. Say we have int a equals 7, system.out.println a. Say we want to change the value of a to 8. Usually we could do a plus plus, a equals a plus 1. Let's just do a equals 8 here. And then let's print out our value of a once again. And we get 7 and 8, just like expected. Say that we write int a equals 8, though. Now we're going to run into this error that variable a is already defined in that main method. And this is the key part, that a has access to this entire program, this a. So we can't redeclare a. We can reinitialize a to a value of 8. But we cannot redeclare if it's in the same scope, using the same variable name. Obviously, we could change a to b, and then everything would be perfectly fine. This second a. Not this first a, but then it would be fine. But we cannot redeclare a variable of the same name again in the same scope. And when we try doing that, we're going to get this error that it's already defined in the method. So that's your quick tutorial on scope for the day. Just keep in mind as you're running, this can help you interpret a lot of error messages in Java sometimes. When you get these errors already defined, a lot of times it has to do with scope. So check out the scope of your variables next time. Get some practice with that maybe. It's a little bit confusing. And inside of the for loop though, this A is no problem because the scope of the A inside of the for loop is only the for loop. So that's how that works. Reach out to us if you have any questions, and to put this in an object-oriented programming context, just consider this statement. When a local variable and an instance variable has the same name, the priority will go to the local variable. And so that's just our quick connection to object-oriented programming. If you have any questions on scope in general, please reach out to us. Please subscribe to our channel. And that's all. I will see you for our next video. Thank you, everyone.